Hi everybody and welcome to Frank's 3D Shop. In this video, I assembled my new Prusa MK3S printer. You can follow along in chapter 2 of the Prusa assembly instructions. I give you some of my tricks to make it easier for you. Another excellent resource is the online manual from Prusa. See the link below. If you have a problem on a step, read the comments for that section. They can be very handy. Okay, step 24. We need the bed support. Okay, let's move this a little further. Okay. 1 Y-carriage, 3 U-bolt, 3 linear bearings, 3 nylon lock nut. No, 6. The printer's package contains a lubricant which is intended for maintenance. No need now. This is not an MK2. Let's open the bag. They are already lubricated. Okay. Placing the bearings onto the carriage. Make sure that they are oriented like in the picture. So they want us to have, you see those small balls? They have to be in the middle of this. For the 3 bearings. This is very important. This is part of the assembly which can significantly influence the printer's behavior. Okay, so you have 1 bearing here, 1 bearing here, 1 bearing here, and then you align the balls to be in the middle. That's right. Then secure it with the U-bolt. Did move a bit. Hold your thumb. Okay, so only one at a time, I suppose. So hold your thumb on the U-bolt and turn the carriage. Start tightening the nuts, but ensure that you are tightening the nut equally, and as soon as they reach the notch, and as soon as each nut reaches the surface of the Y-carriage, stop tightening. We will finish in the next step. So let's use the Prusa pliers. I'm verifying the alignment of the balls beneath, as you see here, and then I will tighten the bolts until they touch equally each side. So I'm just gonna really slightly screwed in. The other one thing, align the balls, drop in this, and if I put it on the right side, on the same side, it's gonna be better. And I am making sure that the bearing is like in the middle of this slot. I'm tightening it so I just can I can move the bearing, but it's dragging. It won't move on itself. So I think that's what they want. So just enough to hold the bearing in place. It is just touching the plate, and I'm holding the U on the other side. Almost there. There. Okay. And I can still. I think I'm gonna just a small amount, just a little less. So everything is good. Repeat these steps. Over tightening the nuts leads to deformation of the bearing and all the issue connected with it. Okay. Ensure that the nuts are tightened just to the surface and equally. Yeah, I think so. They seem to be. Yeah, they are all flush. and I can turn the bearings just a little. But they stay in place. Yeah, okay. Check the bearings. If the bearings are centered in both directions and not, if not slightly, okay. So it's centered this way and this way. You see it's centered. It's centered here, and then it's in the middle. But I have equal spacing on each side. When you are ready, using pliers, rotate the nut, but only 90 degrees. This is enough to fix the bearing without deforming it. Okay, so 90 degrees. 90 degrees. 90 degrees. 90 degrees. 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So they are tight. Good. Take out all of the smooth rods and compare their length. The middle size. So these two, which should be 330. 330. Yeah. 330. Okay. Now please be very careful. Gently insert the rod straight into the bearings. Do not apply too much force. Okay, one thing that can happen, if you can push out balls out of the bearings. So when you insert the rod, you need to use only 2 fingers and just wiggle it in, and it should go in easily like that. Don't be crooked, don't be forcing it, or you will lose some bearings. They say that if you lose 1 or 2, it's okay, but if you lose more, you have to buy another bearing. So here it's gonna be a little harder because whoa. Whoops. Again, smoothly. Okay, I'm gonna hold it. And then this one, oh, it goes in. And it's smooth. Yeah. Yeah. If you can slide the smooth rod easily, check the 2 bearings alignment. It's fine. Okay. Take the Y-carriage, including the smooth rods, and hold the smooth rods so they don't fall out. Make sure that the 2 bearings are on the left side. Okay. As in the picture. Let me put them here. Using your thumb, press the smooth rod inside all 4 holders. Don't use excessive force. Oh, it's easy. Tick. Tick. Check again for correct orientation. The 2 bearings are on the same side as the Prusa logo. So I think that this one is knocking on the frame here. And looking at the spacing here, I think it's my spacer that's in the way. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. Okay, so I have to remove my shim, so I undo the bolts a little. Then I can remove my shim and retighten everything in a diagonal again. It's rocking a bit, but it's gonna be okay. I think with the feet, and it's about 0.5 millimeters off, so it shouldn't be a problem. I put back the smooth rods, pushing not too hard. Okay, now it moves all the way to the end. It doesn't catch anymore, so the shim was interfering with the movement. Now it's smooth. Then next step, you need 4 zip ties. The head of the zip tie should be in the inside of the frame, so you put the head outside, and then when you tighten the zip tie, you zip it with the head inside like this. Same thing for each corner. Now I'm using a plier just to tighten the zip tie a little more, like this. Not too much, but just to be sure it's all the way down. So again, you push it in from the outside and bring the head inside. And then I'm gonna use this flush cutter to cut out all of those zip ties so that you don't hurt yourself with the sharp zip tie. Proper alignment of the smooth rods is crucial to reduce noise and the overall friction. Ensure that all M310 screws are released. So that this can move. So the printed part here can move. Move the carriage back and forth across the entire length of the smooth rods to align them. Then move the carriage to the front plate and tighten all screws. You don't need much force because, again, those are nuts inside the plastic part, and it doesn't have to be that strong. Just not move. So, okay, and then move the plate to the rear and tighten all screws. So this is for aligning the rods, the holders. Okay. Still, it moves freely. There is a flat part on the motor shaft. Yes. Rotate it similarly to the picture. So the flat side here facing me. Place the G2 16 pulley on the Y motor shaft as shown in the picture. Leave a gap so you don't push it all the way in. You leave a small gap here so it doesn't rub. One of the screw must be aligned with the flat side. The flat side is here, so the screw must be perpendicular to the side so that it's screwing to the flat side and leaving a small gap like in the picture. So they have about, I don't know, a millimeter or so, something like that. So one of the screws must be facing directly against the pad or the flat side. So this is the flat side and this screw is on that flat side. Then you screw in the other screw, but just slightly because we'll get back to this later when we align the belt, I suppose. So you just, you know, snug it, make sure it's on the face, on the flat face. That's it. 33. Assembling the belt. One small, one big. The belt, the Y belt, and the M330. Yeah. Anyway, it's the only one that's left. 4 M310 and 1 nylon lock and 2 nuts. Take the Y belt holder, smaller one, insert the M3N nut all the way in. So this is the smaller one, and there is a place for it. So I'm gonna use again the longer screw. It's easier to push it in and then unscrew, and it's in place and it's flush. And then the nylon lock. But the nylon lock, the first one was here, the nylon nut lock goes here, but it's not easy to get it in. I'm gonna try something like this. I'm gonna try to insert an Allen key to place it, and then a screwdriver to push it in. That's it. Worked. Let's make sure it's all the way down. Yes. Okay. Now bend one end of the belt around an M310 screw. So you bend a small amount of about the size here. So you bend the strap around the screw and then insert everything. Insert it inside here, and the teeth must be facing up. So this is down, this is up, must be facing up. So then you screw in all the way in like that, and then you screw in just so that it reaches, so it's flush here. That's it. So teeth up, and this is okay. Then using the M310 screw, fix the Y belt holder to the carriage. Tighten the screw to ensure the printed part is parallel to the axis between the Y motor and the belt. Okay. So if I try to do the same as they, you say that it's gonna go in this one, like that. I've put in the M310 screw, and it's going here, and it's this way. Make sure you are in the threads. It must be aligned this way, so I'm gonna try to do this and screw it in as straight as I can. Seem to be straight. Then you go underneath, between the bed and the frame, and then around the pulley, and then again between the bed and the frame, and then around the pulley in the front and back. And then they make me assemble the other one. I should have assembled that before because it's hanging there, but anyway. So they do the same thing. I'm gonna use the longer screw again, then insert it inside like that. With everything in place, you take the screw like the first time, wrap it around. So I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 teeth. I don't know if it's enough. So it goes here, goes in there like that. It should be flush here, they say. So maybe 5, maybe a teeth less. No, that's more. And you can use an Allen key to push it in, flush. And the teeth must be up again. Oh, like this. It's a little tight. Let me move one teeth again. But this is adjustable. So, okay, this is flush now. So the belt that goes around the screw is flush with the part here. And I'm gonna screw in, push the belt, screw in until it catches. So, yeah, okay. So you have to pull on it so that the strap is flush here, and then you just make it flush. Then, same thing with the M310. Don't tighten the screw crampedly, we'll adjust the position of the printed parts. Okay, you know, it's pretty hard to screw in because everything is in the way. The belts, everything. Okay, so it can move. It can move now. It's not tight. Oh, I see. Okay, so you leave this so that it can move. You can pull on it if I want to. And then you use the M330 and you push it in. Doesn't go in. So you must thread it. Oh, here it is. If you can push it all the way to the end, that's... Oops. And don't push out the nylon nut. But anyway, I'm gonna push back the screw and use the same technique. So I'm gonna put this on here and there. Push the nut in. That's it. So this Allen key has a ball end, and you can use it to screw in on an angle and tighten up that screw. That's it. So now you make sure that the belt is aligned. The top belt is aligned. It's not this way or this way from the bottom one. Seems to be pretty good. If it's not correct, let's make it wrong. So you see the bottom belt is further that way than the top one. So you have to unscrew this and move. When you move the pulley, you change the alignment. So almost to the motor is right for me, and then you tighten both holding screw, but those are fragile, so you don't tighten them too much. They won't go anywhere anyway. And then you push this, and then you test the tension. If it's not enough, you go in and you turn the big M330. That's gonna squeeze in those. It's gonna squeeze in those two blocks underneath. The two blocks here. So if you screw in this screw that goes in between the two, it's gonna make them closer and tighten the belt. So you do that until, not too much because you're gonna break something, but just enough so that if you hold the end of the motor here and you push, you see the frame is moving, but if I try to push the y-axis, it won't move. So it has to be stable when you hold down the motor without using excessive force, just like this. If I push everything, you see the frame is moving, but this is not moving. So that's tight enough, and it makes a pretty sound. And then you use this Allen key with a ball end so that you can go on the side here and tighten that screw. So I'm gonna check again if it moves. No, it doesn't move. Perfect. And then compare the final look with the picture. Yeah, it looks the same. And this is the end of chapter 2. And they say that you can have 15% of the bears, which is 6. But you know, I don't have any anymore, so I'm gonna go and drink something, or I don't know. And they say it's normal that it's harder to push it in because of the motor. The motor is offering some resistance. You have to turn the motor and the belt and everything, but it should be smooth all the way. It doesn't catch. That's fun. Okay, enough. Next step will be the X assembly. That's it for me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and see you in the next video. Ciao, bye!